afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the APAT show. Leigh, we've got some satellite action going on. We're going to tune in there pretty quickly, I guess.
Yeah, we are, because we've changed the timings of things on a Sunday night, which means we can now go live with the show and go, right, everybody, you got 6 minutes if you want to get involved. And that's exactly what you've got, 6 minutes if you want to get involved in tonight's APAT Sunday live satellite. We've got 11 others that have given a go. Two seats guaranteed every Sunday night from 8 o'clock on groverpoker.com. And we've got 6 left at the moment. So top 2 are going to pick up a £140 seat. And third is going to pick up £28, which is kind of like your entry to give it a go the following week. But you've got 5 minutes if you want to get involved. It's £30 buy-in. So it's like a 1 in 5 to get yourself a seat. You can use that seat for, well, you could have used it for Newcastle if it was this time last week, but we're done and dusted. That's all happened already. Tom is hopefully getting him safely out of the tomb and making his way back down south. But next one for us will be Coventry for the ECOAP. So you can use it for that, or you can use it for any event you like in 2025. So we've got Malta, we've got Liverpool, we've got Nottingham for the Worlds, we've got Leeds, Portsmouth, Glasgow, Ash, Malta again for the second time. What am I missing? Poker Squads Live, if you want to use it for that. So loads of choices you can use your £140 ticket for. Wow, Aces versus Queens. Just watching PT Buto with the Aces, and we're going to be down to 5 quite quickly. I didn't see who the player that bust then. It might have been CJ992. I think it was. Yeah. So PT Buto with the Aces. Kind of adds to the stack. So it's Hello Jackie is the chip leader on this with 5 left now. Got 25,000 in chips, which is about 80 bigs, which is chunks in a satellite. But if you want to get involved, you've got 4 minutes to get in to this. If you want to see if you can nick this. Now this is this is a Dara time to reg, Des. I don't know whether you read the books or you're familiar with this. Well, one has just done that. Who's just jumped in? I didn't see who it was. It is, it's friend of the show, Steve 40, double top 40 has jumped in. He's doing a Dara. Yeah, so this is, it's the tactic is that you're buying in at this point. Your chips can be technically worth more. So you're down to 6. 3 are going to pick up a prize here now. So top 2 are going to pick up 140 seats. Third place is going to pick up £56. So you're like a 1 in 2 now of getting a prize. And actually, by buying in now and getting a 5,000 stack, Steve has actually got only 800 chips less than the person in third place. So, although the blinds have moved on and we're now on level 12, it's not a bad place to be jumping in and saying let's give it a go. Yeah, you've got 3 minutes left if you do want to do that and get involved in this and see if we can. See if we can get up. Evening to Tristan. Congratulations on your result over the weekend, Tristan. Great result. It's a fine cash for anybody that may back Tristan in any way whatsoever. Cha-ching. Yes, very nice indeed. Super result for Tristan. He's like the ATM of APAT. Can always guarantee on him paying out. Great fun. Party Poker Tour at Aspers in London. Great to see everybody up there and it all going pretty well. Some cracking numbers. And Tristan went deep into day 3, and I think ended up for about 2k was his cash in the end, which is fantastic.
Fantastic, great result. Simon is out there as well. Evening to you, Simon. And Mr. 40's out there, and he gets in early with the football stuff. Leigh, hello.
Well, there's only one football story. There's only one
he says
football
the same
story
thing.
This weekend. Yeah, it's only one football story this weekend.
Get a 3rd promotion in 3 years. Don't think there's any other football.
Oh, whoa! We're not talking about United getting a point away at Bournemouth. Surely that's the real
They left it quite late to strike, did they not?
Goodness me, honestly. I've never been so happy for somebody to get a goal, though. Crikey, honestly. I mean, the weight of the world was on Rasmus's shoulders. But, loads of, some amazing football stories, actually, this weekend. So, obviously, Wrexham back to back is phenomenal. I watched the game. Yeah, just an incredible story. Now, and I don't care what anybody says about, oh, well, it's the money and the owners or whatever. You still got to do that. And you still got to do it within the confinement of what the financial regulations are. To go back to back to back, never been done before in the fifth tier and up of the Football League. So that is history in the making this weekend. Second bit of history in the making this weekend is Birmingham winning 4-0 today. Means they've now, I think, equaled or beaten the League One total number of points in a season. They've got 2 games to go, and I think they need 2 more points, and they overtake Reading's points tally in the Championship from a number of years ago. So that's potentially is on as well, because it's 2 away games, but Birmingham are way above that league in there. And of course, your mighty Reds finally getting to win the title in front of some fans was, as I said to you before we came on air, it was visually it was a very impressive thing to witness. And
nice
fair
to see
play to the fans. And well, Tottenham did the Spursy thing. I mean, even though they scored first, it was kind of inevitable that was going to happen. But yeah, I thought for a nice way to win it, and nice to get it across the line in front of your own fans, and then you'll get the trophy on the final day, I guess, against Palace, won't you? So of course, and they've got a cup final to look forward to.
And Simon will be needing some consoling. Forest didn't make it in the end. City, I mean, I obviously didn't see the City game. Forest semi-final today.
So City scored within 2 minutes, and that just set the tone for the game. To be perfectly honest, Forest really didn't even turn up in the first half, and just when they started to get a little bit level, Alanga came on at half time and missed an absolute beauty of an opportunity with his first touch in the second half, which would have made it 1-1, and then City got a second, and that was kind of that. But unfortunately, a goal within 2 minutes against City kind of set the tone for the way the game was going to play out. Unfortunately,
a real shame. And it's kind of, despite the fact that Palace had a great win over Villa, I suspect they'll start long odds to a degree. Theoretically, at least, against City, and it'll be a shame.
Yeah,
to see.
But interestingly, they absolutely smashed Villa. I mean, Crystal Palace on their day, they've got the players. If they really hit, and City aren't having a great season. And the reality of, I think the vast majority of the football fans are going to be Palace fans come the 20. Whenever it is, the 17th of May, I think it is, something like that. It's the weekend before, isn't it? The final round of league games, I think it is.
Is it? It's not the weekend after?
I think so. No, it's not the weekend. So the final league games are the 25th of May, and I think the FA Cup final. So the weekend's games the week before are all on a Sunday, and the FA Cup final is on the Saturday. So I presume they'll rearrange the City and Palace will have another game to get rearranged for a midweek. So I think that's the plan. Obviously, I know it doesn't bother for a lot of you, but but some of us that have still got European aspirations this season, Des,
isn't it hilarious? It could be United and Spurs in a European final.
Crazy situation, absolutely crazy. And huge congratulations to Arsenal's women that overturned a 2-1 first leg deficit against Lyon. Absolutely smashed them. In the
they did,
in the second leg, 4-1 in the end. And it's interesting to see, because actually did you see the other semi-final?
I know Chelsea,
where
right?
Chelsea, who have absolutely dominated the WSL this year, unbeaten, absolutely got smashed 8-2 on aggregate against Barcelona. It's crazy situation. So let's give you a quick update where we are with this satellite. We're down to 5. Top 3 are going to get paid. John Murray, Trav Mint there is all in with his 9 bigs. So John's got 9 bigs. Steve Forty's got 9 bigs, and has been called by Seymour Tilts with the ace queen. Oh, what a turn for Alan. And we're down to 4 very quickly. This could be the shortest show ever, Des. This really could be. So so double top Steve Forty has got 8 bigs. Alan Seymour Tilts has got 40 bigs. P.T. Buto, who I think is Richard Baker, has got 41 bigs. And then Hello Jackie has got 58. So Steve is either going to need to get a double up here, or we're going to be down to the final three, and then it's which one of them's going to get the cash and which ones are going to get the seats. We could be over in a very, very short space of time here.
Well, Steve needs to find a hand, and pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, he's not got a huge amount of space here. But don't forget, this satellite runs every single Sunday night, and you can. The great thing is you can satellite in during the week for it, so you can play the free roll if you want to, daily free roll, and get yourself a £1 ticket, £1 into a £5, £5 into a £30, and then play this. You can get those tickets during the week. So you can get your £30 tickets. It doesn't auto-reg you for anything. So you can get a couple of £30 tickets during the week when you've got some spare time to play. Maybe one evening, or maybe the football's on during the week, the Champions League semi-finals or whatever. Get on Grosvenor. Get yourself some £30 tickets bagged up, and then you can use them to play this on a Sunday night. You'll also be able to use them for our championship and medal events, but you can also use them to win 110 tickets and GUKPT tickets and Goliath tickets and everything else that's on Grosvenor in the Sterling range, because obviously you can still qualify for Vegas, and actually I think it might even work for the £30 might get you into the Vegas package as well on a Sunday night as well, which is running for another month or so. So yeah, basically, just when you've got some spare time, just add yourself some tickets. Wow, what a hand for Hello Jackie, Ace Jack. 2 jacks on the flop and an ace on the river doesn't really get fully paid off with it. And the trouble is for Alan and Rich Baker here, with 35-40k stacks, you don't really want to do much here. This would be ICM suicide to go in against one of the others here, whilst Steve 40's there with 6.6 bigs. You at least want to get paid out the £56 for third place here, don't you? That's where it is. So Simon Law's in the chat saying he thinks if City win the cup, 6th and 7th get. Yeah, I think the Europe places could fall. Potentially there's a team in 17th that could get a European place.
Remarkable. Bournemouth,
which would be a crazy situation.
Those 2 points will be potentially costly for Bournemouth today. That late.
Yeah, it's
equaliser.
Yeah, it was. To be honest, I thought we played. And Steve's got a double up. Yeah. So yeah, to be honest, I thought we played quite well today. I think we were unlucky to concede, and to go in at halftime behind was unfortunate. We didn't look like creating much of a chance. As far as the sending off goes, to be honest, they had two incidents where the players gone in out of control with studs showing, and the first one he got away with just a yellow card, and the VAR did look at it. And the second one, which was a different player, I think probably wasn't as bad as the first one. But for whatever reason, VAR has decided they didn't see the slip and has decided the ref needed to look at it. But both times, the player has gone in a little bit out of control with foot off the ground and kind of studs showing. So you kind of go with, if you're going to play that game twice in the match, there's a possibility that you're not going to get away with 11 players on the pitch. But that did change the game, because
he was unlucky. That meant I didn't think it was a sending off. I don't know what you thought, Leigh.
No, the first one was probably more of a red, but VAR cleared that one. The first one, he actually was in stud showing and connected with the ankle of Mazraoui. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah. We still didn't look great. We were just chucking players on to try and do something. It was it's not, we just need to get through the season. 3 games to go that matter, and that's the 2 games against Bilbao, and then hopefully a final in Bilbao. And we'll and if they by some miracle we could win that Europa League and be in the Champions League next season, that is a game changer for what our summer will look like. If we don't, we'll just have to go again. Meanwhile, busy watching tonight, Scott McTominay giving more man of the match performances for Napoli as they go top of
Roma.
Serie A.
It's just rather lost earlier on today. So
Inter lost earlier on, and
now,
Napoli were 2-0 up when I left it to come on here, and Scott McTominay scored the first. I think that's now 4 in 3 games for him or something like that. He scored 10 goals or 11 goals this season, something like that. Ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous, but nice. So Steve's double up there has brought him much closer in to the other guys now. So Steve's got 7K, Rich Baker's got 11, Alan's got 16, and Hello Jackie's got 26. So they're a little bit closer in together now. Steve not out of this yet after getting that double up, and he's happy to play a little bit of poker down the streets here, and scoops up that one as well. It's all going Steve's way at the moment. Yeah, I felt for Forest because I hope they now can get across the line. And they've had such a good season to not get a Champions League spot now would be tough. They're playing,
isn't it? It's
they're playing midweek, aren't they? They're playing midweek, but they've got a decent run of fixtures into the end. Chelsea's the one that's got a really tricky run of games to get there. I think City are probably will have done enough. Arsenal are going to have done enough and are busy focused on other matters. What do you think? Arsenal's chances in the Champions League?
Well, you wouldn't write them off. Certainly, I mean they've shown the ability to get it together. I think PSG are going to be the toughest team they've had to play in the Champions League, in fairness. But you'd have to say PSG, I think, lost one and drew one of their last 2 Ligue 1 games. So having won the league, it might be that they're losing a little bit of sharpness. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, if they get through PSG, the chances are they're going to come up against Barcelona. You can't see Inter getting through Barcelona in 2 leagues, but then again, they could just find a way of doing it. But it feels unlikely.
I think the point is, if Arsenal do happen to get through PSG, whether they end up playing Barcelona or Inter, I think those are 3 extremely tough games between that two-legged semi and
I'd say whoever wins it now will have very much have deserved it, because it's proper tough competition in there with, say, some of the bigger teams that you would have thought would be there in the semi-finals. I mean, to have a semi-final which doesn't have City, Liverpool, or Real Madrid in it, or Bayern Munich is a little bit unheard of. It's interesting times. It would have been nice if it had been Forest against Palace in the cup final.
That's kind of what
would have been nice. Would have been a nice cup final, wouldn't it? A lot of empty seats at Wembley today. Great big chunks up in the top tier of empty seats.
I read somewhere that City had 5,000-6,000 tickets that they couldn't sell. I don't know if I can't imagine Palace fans not flooding to Wembley. I mean, they live close enough to it. And it's such a rarity.
But if City fans have isn't it like 6 cup semi-finals in a row and 5 finals or something like that? Or it's some silly run in the FA Cup, isn't it, where they've been in the semi-finals for the last 6 seasons. So I guess it gets expensive, these trips, and especially if you're doing a semi-final, then you're doing a final as well. Yeah, it's not cheap, and you've seen your team do it for the last however many seasons. I can understand. There's only a finite number of fans that will be prepared to do that, isn't it?
Well, it kind of brought that home to me with that Liverpool-Newcastle League Cup final. So, for example, it would be easy to imagine Liverpool having won that, as City have done for several years before. That actually, it would be great, but actually the fans wouldn't be giving it too much credence. Whereas for Newcastle, it was enormous. So it's easy to kind of lose the fact of how big a Wembley occasion can still be.
I think
for a team.
I do think we're nearly getting to a point whereby there are enough decent league grounds. You could put the semi-finals back to being, in league grounds now. You've got Etihad's being extended again, Anfield's been extended again. They're now talking about extending at Villa Park and Newcastle and the new Everton Stadium and Tottenham's ground and the Emirates. I mean, there's so many grounds where you could go, well, okay, let's put it in there and it not be a Wembley trip.
That new Everton ground, that's going to be great for getting your subs on.
Yeah, nice, because it's by the water, yeah? Yeah, beautiful.
It'll be underwater before long, Lee, I'm telling you.
Well, they seem to have have dodged a few bullets there, haven't they? And there was obviously concerns that, if whilst they were building that and funding it, would they go down? Well, they've managed to get new owners. They've managed to get a manager in that seems to be have got them clear of relegation, and they're going to be in that new stadium from next season. And from all I've heard is it's a fantastic setup. What's been created there, and good for them. I thought Anfield looked impressive today, and obviously you've got plans to develop the COP as well. So we're about to go on a break at 5 to the hour, and so that's only going to extend that as well. The Etihad is busy being extended behind one of the goals to match the other side. So that's going to increase those numbers. I don't think it'll be long before you get plans of what's going to happen at St James's Park, because I'm sure Newcastle are going to want to develop what they've got there. Say Villa have put plans in to extend behind. I presume it's the opposite end to the Holt end at Villa Park. So you're seeing clubs happy to invest in infrastructure. Obviously, Tottenham's ground is phenomenal. That had the boxing amazing. There on Saturday night, didn't it? I saw Marcus Rashford was there on. Marcus Rashford was there on Saturday night, unfit to play for Villa for whatever reason, and rocked up at the boxing. Good lad.
Well, he probably had a few quid on, Lee. In fairness, you got to protect your investment. You got to be there, man. Got to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we really are, and of course, it's what year is it that the UK have got the? Is it the Euros? Is it 2032? Yeah, I want to say 2032.
World Cup, so 30. It's got to be 32. 28 or 32. Could it be 28?
Yeah,
could be 28.
Oh, it might be 28. Yeah, it could be. But and that's going to be impressive, because the stadium is just phenomenal. So it's going to be super impressive. Went to have a wander around the Aviva when we were in Dublin. Paul and I went for a walk one morning, and bizarre thing happened. So we're wandering around the Aviva, walked all the way around it along the river, and I said to Paul, if you watch the TV series Kin.
Yeah, it's well featured, isn't it? Every episode.
Yeah, and he said, I said that the two houses from the family are somewhere around here, because they're I kid you not. He said, we'll go down this road here just because I can get a good shot of the sign of the stadium. And I went, it's the bloody houses from Kin. You're not going to believe it. And literally, we're both stood there because he's trying to get a photo of the stadium. Somebody came out one of the houses, the big door slid across this world. I looked like, what are these two idiots doing? But I bet loads of people actually do. Well, I did actually do a Google. I'm sure it is on Google. No, it was that street. Yeah,
amazing.
It was shot in. And it's a lot closer to the stadium than you think, because obviously you see the stadium in the background in the TV series, but actually it is super close. I mean, really, really close to the stadium. Very impressive. I mean, they couldn't fit any more of a stadium into that footprint than they do. Have done there. It's just there is no more room. There is no more room to go. Well, basically, they've got as much as they possibly could.
I mean, you've literally got. It's just like
it's like three rows,
so small in comparison.
Yeah, but it was very impressive. Dublin was great. Good fun had by all there. Obviously, huge congrats to loads of people that had some good runs there. I met Andrew Tracy, who I've not seen for a long time. He cashed in the seniors event. Came over and said hello during one of the breaks. I hadn't played poker for 7 years, so he cashed in that. Natalie cashed in the Liam Flood Memorial, made the final table. So did Dave Kingswell. Dave Kingswell, laddering for his country on that final table. Went from 7th to 3rd, I think, without playing a hand, pretty much, and then had to get busy a few times. Got it in good a couple of times, but he was gutted. He really badly wanted the trophy, but. Had to settle for the very nice payday instead, and Paul got heads up in the Six Max PLO. The trouble is, he was up against a guy that had already won 2 PLO trophies that week, and the guy got the hat trick on him.
That's insane. How did you
just
PLO
phenomenal. Won 3 PLO trophies. I want to say a Danish guy, I think it was. Phenomenal. But Paul cashed for 5 figures in that. But phenomenal. And of course, we were there on the Monday night for. I don't know whether anybody saw any of the coverage of it, but the leap from the winner into the rail when he won was a phenomenal thing to witness.
Superman leap, incredible stuff.
It was very. I mean, to be fair, it was over, and he took the time first of all to go over and shake the other guy's hand and say congratulations. Then literally turned, and the spring he got was phenomenal. And the security in the RDS didn't quite know what to do with themselves as pints were going flying left, right, and centre. They're feeling like they should be doing their security thing, but at the same time they just made the decision. Yeah, well, this is we're not gonna get anywhere with this, so we'll just leave them to it for a minute. And but a phenomenal winner and €600,000 better off, Des. Not bad for 4 days' work.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And to be honest, Lee, fair play to you. Made the top 500 in the main event. Cash, nice cash. Major weekend, super worthwhile. We had a couple of rafflers over there. With 3, in fact. Darren Chambers didn't make the cash, as I recall.
No, Danny had a fantastic weekend in because he was over with his other half, and they just went and enjoyed Dublin for the weekend at Easter.
So you?
Didn't see a huge amount of him. Played the main, didn't go his way. Went and enjoyed Dublin, and do you know what? That's the whole point of it, isn't it? Yeah, that's exactly what you can do.
It's a good city to do that. Anne Parish had a great run, got into day 2, just fell short of the money, but loved the experience. And Darren Smith, what a run he had! I think he made the top. He made the top 150 out of 4,600 runners.
Yeah, right? Nearly 5K.
Nearly 5K.
Yeah. Had a good chat with him. Super. So, do you want to hear my satellite story?
Yeah,
I've got a fantastic satellite story. So I satellited into the main event. We'll keep an eye on this now whilst we're watching this satellite. So they run milestone satellites at the Irish Open. So anyone that's not familiar with that, we're going to run them at Coventry, so you'll get to see them. But basically, you have a set target that you need to get to, and once you get to that target, basically those chips are removed from play, and the remaining chips that you've got in your stack get divvied up between whoever's left at the table. So that's how it works. So. In this instance, it was €140 buy-in for a main event seat. So you start with 10,000 chips, and you need to get to 100,000.
Yeah, I think I
okay. Once you've got to 100,000, they take 100,000 off your stack. You leave, and whatever's left in your stack gets divvied between anybody else that was still that got dealt into the previous hand. Right. So I'm fairly deep into this satellite, and I have 94,300.
Ouch, close.
Blinds are 1,000, 2.5.
Right, we just need the blinds.
So, you've done the maths, Des. You've done the maths. So I folded. The previous hand I'd folded my small blind because somebody had raised, so I wasn't going to get involved. So it's now on me. So that's my situation. 94,300. It's folded round to me on the button. I mean, I nearly didn't even look. I see. Right? I nearly didn't even look. But no, I thought I'll let's play the game. So I had a quick look. Jack 8. That's more than good enough. Yeah. So I shove. Guy in the small blind who's got about 10K folds. The guy in the big blind, who's the other side of the dealer, because I'm in seat 8 and he's in seat 1, looks across and says, "Can I get a count?" To which the dealer says, "Well, he's got chunks. He's got chunks." And the guy says, "Well, yeah, but I need to know because it makes a difference. How close is he to the milestone?" So I said, "Well, I'll save you the trouble." I started this hand with 94,300. So, you went, right, okay. Yeah, go on then. I'll call then. Okay. And he proceeds to. Well, he proceeds to flip over pocket 3s.
Oh dear God, you're stronger than I thought you might be there, Lee. I have to say.
The board comes down. Jack 4. It's done. Yeah, absolutely tore him apart. But this is where the punchline of the story comes in, because he started the hand with about 66,000.
Right.
And so I won the hand. They took 100,000 off me. There were 6 other players left in the table.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
So they all got divvied up about 10, 12 grand each.
Yeah.
I doubled up the guy to my left, who was in the small blind, by busting this guy. What did he think? What was he doing? He's on 66,000 towards 100,000. even if I'm shoving light, at very best, he's racing.
Yeah.
Which is what it was. So he's obviously decided, I'll just take a flip with it. Just take a flip. Because I'm probably racing. This guy's not going to have any, he's going to have 2 overcards on me. I'll take a flip to try and win it.
Yeah.
I could have lost the flip, obviously, and I'd have done 2/3 of my stack.
Of course, if he wins the flip, he gets the seat, right?
So
he's playing a hand for a seat.
Yeah, but we've been playing for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
This isn't like it's the most bizarre decision he made, but he made the decision. The guy to my left was high-fiving me because he thought it was great. He's just got a double up, so he's now a little bit closer to getting there. But yeah, that's how I bagged my seat for the main event and turned that into a little min cash. So basically 140 euros into like about two grand. So quite happy, really.
Very nice.
But yeah, Milestone Satellite's great. We're running them at Coventry. So the Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, 9 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock on the Friday night. They are 28 plus 7. They're £35 satellites to win 140 seats. So very similar situation. 1 in 5, you'll get a seat. Once you've got your stack, your chips will be taken off, and you'll be away to go. So yeah, we're running those in Coventry as part of the schedule for the European Championship of Amateur Poker. So give those a whirl if you want to, and you can use those 140 tickets for anything in the schedule in Coventry. So whatever you want to play. So obviously there's a load of 140s. The main event is obviously there, but there's an 8 game, there's a Tours event, there's a 2-7 triple draw, there's PLO 4-5-6, there's PLO, there's Win the Button, there's Bounty. There's 12 in total. I think I've named most of them. So it's loads.
Very interesting to see how it goes, Leigh. And I see, Simon said the bloke has obviously not read Dara's book. Fair comment. And Trish says table selection in Milestone Sats for the win. So pick your table wisely where you can.
You can, but not always possible. But good fun. And on the main event, I had probably the best fun days poker I've had for a very, very long time. I didn't bag up chunks or anything. I think I had like triple my starting stack, but just the best fun. I had Debbie on my table, Debbie on my table, which was Katie Swift's sister, was on my table, and just a really cracking table. Everyone entered into the fun of it. Even when new people came on the table, it was not a problem. There was not a bit of beef or bother in the whole day. It was a joy. And 5 of the original 8 or 9 that sat down bagged up for the night. So sat there for 13 hours or whatever, and and half the table that were there originally bagged up for day 2. So lovely. It was really, really good fun, quite enjoyable to say the least. And on day 2, I was sat originally with a friend of the show, Boz, who do you remember we had on, who had really bad. He even apologized for his bad connection that time when we had him on the APAT show, and he was talking through a lot of strategy and a lot of history. So he. I'm now absolutely, because I only remember him as Boz, and his surname is completely gone from my head, which is just completely stupid. Because but he was he was on table and had a super decent run. So I'm just reading what Simon Brooks saying.
Someone's talking about the milestone stats.
Yeah, so they changed it about 2 days in. So the first couple of days, so when Simon was there, they were running the milestone satellites where basically once you got to 100k, they would take 100 off and give you a seat. And just watching Steve all in with the 8-9, and he's going to bust, unfortunately, in Rich. And they were allowing players to play on. So what we were getting was people winning 2 or 3 seats from them. Because basically, once you got your 100k, you would take 100k off and carry on playing with whatever balance you had. Jamie O'Connor, thank you very much. Don't know why that went
famous
completely.
Welsh player, Jamie O'Connor,
why that went completely blank? Because he's Jamie Boz O'Connor. Why his name went completely blank from me for a minute there. Thank you, Tristan. And they somebody not complained, but they questioned it on Facebook and tagged in JP about it and said, what do you think? And actually they quickly reviewed it and went, yeah, that's not really great for recreational poker players that are playing at the Irish Open. If you've got pros sat there basically winning 2 and 3 seats
No.
from the same satellite, so they changed it back to how they'd done it the previous year.
Yeah.
So, and when Tom and I talked about what we were going to do at Coventry with these, we said we were going to do exactly the same thing, because you don't need to be sat there earning more. So there was plenty of players that got to 100,000 and 300 or whatever, and 600 or whatever, and you were chopping up 100 chips between the rest of the table. I think my payout to the rest of the table was probably one of the bigger ones in the week, I'd imagine, because it's rare that you're going to get any hands that are just going to clash for that. I could have sat tight for mine if I needed to for any length of time. So, but Jamie on day 2 properly owned me in far too many hands, I want to admit to. It's somebody described it quite beautifully the other day about when you get a really good pro player that knows what they're doing on your table, and it was that it feels like they've got position on you in every hand.
Yeah,
doesn't matter where you are. doesn't matter where you are sat on the table. They've always seems to have position on you, and it felt very much like that. So
he is clearly a good player, though. Very experienced, right?
Yeah, no, super good. So we lose Steve in 4th place, unfortunately, which means we are down to 3 now. So let's give you a quick chip update on these guys. Rich Baker's got 20 bigs. Hello Jackie's got started with about 38, and Alan Seymour Tilts has got about 40 bigs. So it's both got Hello Jackie and Seymour Tilts both got 40 bigs now, and Rich is the short stack with 14. Obviously, all locked up. A guaranteed, 3rd place is going to pick up £56 here, so it's not the end of the world. So there is a reason now where Rich could just go, well, I'm just going to rip into this now and see if I can double up. And I don't think the other two are necessarily going to go at it against each other, because it makes no sense. So Rich could use this to his advantage, which is exactly what he's doing, playing it super aggressive. Very difficult for the other two to want to call off half their stack just in case they get it wrong. So Rich could use this to his advantage now, with 3 of them left. And we should also mention, as quite rightly, because that was before I even got out to the Irish Open, but Simon had a couple of fantastic cashes out there in the mixed games earlier on in the first weekend. Turned his poker raffles ticket into a significant profit. So very well done to him. And I know him and Ian both were saying how much they enjoyed. Yeah, both saying how much they enjoyed it, and were already making plans to want to go back next year. It's only going to get bigger and better, the Irish Open next year, guys. If anyone's thinking about it, they had to extend into another hall, literally last minute, to cope with the numbers, and they've already booked that hall for next year, so they already know it's going to get bigger. So it's just going to be insane, Easter next year, and lots of ways to get out there. So start making plans early, because I think you're going to find a lot of the online providers, certainly talking to the guys at Grosvenor, they took 72 players out for the main event this year, and they want to get that above 100 next year. Wow. With packages for other things as well, not just the main event. So they've got big plans. We're going to have big plans with poker raffles. We got 4 out there this year. We'd love to get that to double figures and have a group of people out there playing through poker raffles. So it's only going to get bigger. If you've got nothing planned for Easter next year, there's far worse things to do than go to Dublin. That's for sure.
I know, fair play to the organisers. They've done an amazing job with it, but they invest heavily. I mean, it looks great, but stuff like the marketing, the screens, the management of the event, everything seems to be super
so smooth. They pushed. So the final event of the day on the Monday was event number 69. Right? They pushed 2 tournaments in the whole thing by an hour because of numbers. Yeah, that was it. Wow. Everything else started on time without fail. It just ran so smoothly. And everybody, as I'd say, I've been the last 2 years, and as I always say, is it's just got this thing where everybody feels like they know what they're doing. there's never any panic.
Yeah.
Everybody just knows what they're doing and where they're supposed to be and what's going on, and it's superbly well staffed, and that's what they probably invest in. But more than anything, the screens are all impressive and the room is phenomenal of it. But they invest in ensuring they have got plenty of people there, so that nothing is a stress. It's super cool. 3 of them have got pretty level now, Des.
They certainly have,
It's between 20, 21 and 26 bigs. So Richard's used this position of being the short stack three-handed to his advantage here, and he's carrying on the aggression.
It's interesting. We were talking about your opponent in the milestone getting it in with 3s. I noted there that Richard got it in with 2s against Steve, effectively knocking Steve out. I can't recall, we were talking how the hand played out, but
it was 9-8 Steve had, if I remember rightly. Yeah. But the point is, if you're happy to take, you're flipping. Okay. You could go again. You could be against an overpair, obviously, with there is the possibility. But the reality of it is you could just be flipping. So 2s are always going to be slightly better for you. So it's, if you're happy to take that, show that aggression and take that chance, then it'll you kind of live by the sword, die by the sword, don't you? With it, really, when it comes to flipping.
I'm even tempted to think, like, if you can get them in first, at least you're pushing the decision elsewhere. So you might just take it down there and then. If you're deciding to call with them, you are flipping. There's no question, one way or another, you are flipping. But a percentage of the time, it will work out.
Flips are good. We played. I was at a charity quiz on Thursday night for Dorset Mind. 8 of us at the table, and they played a round of heads and tails. Des, I don't know whether you've ever played this game.
No.
At a black tie do or a quiz. Now this could be all over. Queens versus Ace 3, and it's going to be a double up for Alan, but leaves Rich on 5 bigs. So basically, everybody puts a little bit of money, a couple of pound into the middle. And stands up, and basically they then half the money goes to the charity and half the money goes to the winner. And basically all they do is everybody in the room, you choose whether you want to be heads or tails. So you either do heads or tails. They flip a coin. If you're right, you stay standing up, and they keep going until there's only one person left. It's as simple as that. It's just a little. But of course, when I said to my table of 8, I said, right, are we playing this strategically? And they all looked at me like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, we want to try and get at least one of us as deep into it as we possibly can. So the best thing to do is 50-50 the table. They said. Yes, we'll do that. We like that. Queen 10, King 3. King 3's at risk. And double back up for Rich. So we did that. So the first 3, we went from 8 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1. So we have one guy left. And he managed to pick heads twice in a row. Well, he picked it first time in a row, so then went up to the front. There was only 4 of them left. The other 3 all went tails. So he took the gamble. He saw they'd all gone tails. So he went, I'll go heads then. And it came in. And so one scooped the lot. It's a skill game, Des. I don't care what anyone says. It is a skill game. Yeah. Richard getting busy again, having gone down to 5 bigs, has now got back up to 13, and is back again in doing exactly what he was doing when they first went to three-handed, and going, okay, well, I'm prepared to take a gamble here. Do either of you two want to risk your stack to double me up and bring me back into the game? And he's just got to be prepared to do that. Just get those chips in the middle. There he goes again. And neither of them seem overly keen to call. Obviously, Alan did when he had the queens earlier on, but and Tristan's in the chat just saying, what about the jump on the FD rail though? We talked about that, talking about that earlier on. It was phenomenal. It was super impressive. A great mix on that final table there as well. Players from all over the place, and it ended up being an Irishman that won it. But it was super cool. Well, maybe next year for you, Tristan, if this year wasn't workable, but say it's a year away. But I must have heard 2 or 3 different people over that week I was out there. 10-2 at risk. Oh, he's a second 2 on the river. Rich. That's disgusting.
Liking those 2s tonight.
Yeah, that's disgusting. And I heard a number of people that said, this is better than Vegas. Yeah. If you say for possibly for value for money, for ease of getting there. If you're in Europe, it is a cracking week's worth of poker, so well run. And you're in the middle of Dublin, so there's plenty of other things to do as well. So yeah, plenty of people that are saying, actually, do you know what? I prefer this to Vegas. I'm seeing more and more people also giving Vegas a miss this year. I saw Dave Lappin said that he's not. Yeah, he's not going. And sad to see the Unibet have kind of pulled out on sponsoring the chip race and what the guys do. I think they're going to carry on doing it in some of the guys.
I hope so. I would have thought they'll get a sponsor elsewhere. I mean,
I would have thought so. Somebody will snap them up to want to get it, because they're good guys and it's great content. And if for nothing else, just for Dara's shirts, it's worth it's worth the investment.
Partially why I tune into the World Series of Poker every year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, absolute twist of fate here, because Richard is now our chip leader with 28 bigs after that double up, and the other two now are in a bit of a tricky situation because they've got a similar sort of stack. Hello, Jackie's got 16 bigs, and Alan has got 14. So tricky spot for these two now. Obviously, they're all vying because they'd rather have the £140 worth of seat rather than the £56 worth of cash. But one of them is going to miss out. Rich carrying on his aggression since we've been three-handed here.
Richard says, pick the bones out of that one. To be honest, there's a few bones, Rich. There's a few. Oh, Steve says, I told my Irish line manager that I had to be in Dublin last week. Not for work. Sorry, Lee. Interrupt me if you need to.
No, you carry on.
Are we good? Not for work, but to play in the Irish Open. But me and the wife went to Crete for a holiday. Next year, I'm sure I will have to go to Dublin for work. Lol. That's what I'll tell the wife.
Crete looked very nice, though, Steve. Steve was firing me messages from Crete. Last week, telling me he was having a great time out there. He doesn't really like you very much, to be honest. Des, you're a Liverpool fan, so that's the trouble. You see,
likes me at the moment.
So Alan's all in and gets that one through. So on we go. So Hello Jackie is the one that's in a slight spot here now with 14 bigs. Are they going to call off against Rich? No, the other two are just, it's like they've forgotten their fold buttons aren't working anymore. They're just getting aggro. Is Hello Jackie going to find a shove from the small blind? No, just a call. We're going to see it. Are we going to see a flop? We are.
There we go.
Might be a little bit of poker played here. Wow. Short. Sweet. And don't forget, obviously on Grosvenor, you can still qualify to head to Vegas. I'm not saying don't go to Vegas. I'm just saying there's lots of people that are deciding not to. But if you do fancy going to Vegas, there is not a better way to get there than with Team Grosvenor, and qualify during the week for the day 2 satellite on a Sunday night, and get yourself as part of Team Grosvenor over in Vegas, playing in the Millionaire Maker, plus 7 nights hotel at Paris and return flights. They'll even fly you back. I'm not sure how many they got in tonight. Let me go and have a quick look at the satellite already finished. It might have already finished actually for tonight. Let's see if I can find out who the winners were. No, that was last week's one. Let's try this week's one. Oh, unless they've moved when the day 2 starts. They might have moved the day 2, possibly, but had two more packages guaranteed, and we're done. Simple as that. Whilst that was all going on, Alan bust out in third place, picking up £56. And congratulations to PT Buto, who is Rich Baker, and Hello Jackie. You have both won yourselves APAT 140 tickets to use for any event in 2025. Simple as that. We're done, Des. Half past 10. That is half 10 is before Kai's bedtime. I mean, it's not a problem. I've even got Kai on the promo now. He's noticed that. He said, "Who's that good-looking chap on the flyer?" So Kai's already on the promo. Half 10 and we're done, guys. If you want to get involved in the satellite, it's going to run every Sunday night from 8 o'clock. £30 buy-in. 1 in 5 is going to pick up a seat. We're guaranteeing two seats every week. Me and Des. Right, we're guaranteeing the seats every Sunday. Yeah, so basically, please do come and play it, because if not, Des can't feed the kids, and that's not great.
What he said.
Simple as that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's not great if you can do that. Love to get this up to 3 or 4, whatever tickets. So many good things you can use these tickets for. So obviously, the Coventry schedule is out, and it's massive. 12 events across 5 days at Coventry at the end of May. That is only 4 weeks away now, if you want to get involved in that. Plus, then we've got Liverpool in July, and then we've got the Worlds in Nottingham at the end of August. You can use those £140 tickets for any of those events. So, nope. We had somebody during the week that said, "Are you running any more satellites for Newcastle?" It's like, that was this weekend. It's like, well, yeah, we can't do the absolute last minute satellites. So, but there's nothing to stop you satelliting early, sticking it in your account and using it whenever you want to use it. So you don't need to wait till the week for an event to try and satellite in.
Yeah.
You get in early and use it for whatever you want to use it for. You can even use them for any of the overseas stuff as well. So if you've got a £140 ticket and you want to go and play the Malta event, which I think is €120, we'll sort that out for you and give you any difference in cash or whatever it is. So whatever you want to play. If you want to go to Ash and go over there, and that gets huge numbers, 700-800 runners in their main event there. If you want to go over and play in that, we can sort that out for you. So whatever it is you want to do, we can make that happen. Just get playing every week. And more importantly, it's £30 direct buy-in on a Sunday night, but you can get in from £1 any night of the week. You can actually get in for free. So every night at 8 o'clock, I think it is. Let me just check the time to make sure I'm not telling you a lie on the actual time. Bear with me a second. 7 o'clock. See, you'd have been late. There's a free roll with 10 £1 tickets every single night on Grosvenor.
Okay.
So you can jump in that, win a £1 ticket, spin a £1 into a 5 into a 30. 30 means you can play the APAT satellite. But the £30 you can also use for anything else. So when we're running medal events that are £30, you can use it for that. You can use it to get into a GUKPT satellite. I think the Vegas ones are at 30 as well. Just check I'm not no, they're 510s and they're 530s and 110s as well. So basically, so much stuff on Grosvenor you can get involved in those, and they're running every single day, 7 days a week. So you don't need to wait till the Sunday to play those. Whenever you've got some spare time, get involved and do those. But Newcastle is done. I didn't even see who won. Did you get any?
I did. Yeah. Gordon Wright, Lee. Gordon Wright took
fantastic.
It down. You'll be loving that Jack 4 because it'll make you feel good about your own milestone hand of Jack 8. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gordon Wright won it. The two gentlemen, I don't have their names to hand. This gentleman finished second for silver. This gentleman finished third for bronze. Unfortunately, I just don't have those names in front of me at this moment.
Fantastic. Well, thank you to everybody up in Newcastle. Well done to Tom for running this weekend. I know that the cardroom manager up there who was leaving stayed on some notice so she could be there for the APAT event. So I mean, if that doesn't tell you, a great bunch of people, and everyone will have had a good time up there. I've no doubt that will be the case. Basically, we've got coming up Malta. That is next up for us. And then Coventry, there is also a German team event happening in the middle of that, which I suppose anybody can enter. I don't know whether anyone can go out to Ash with a team. Possibly. If you do, just tell Sandro we sent you. Not a problem whatsoever. If you rock up with the team.
And Leigh, the big one, the new one after Coventry. So we're going to Liverpool, right? You mentioned July. And I have to say, I don't think we've been to Liverpool before. So despite the, well, let me just press that just for a laugh. But despite that,
wow,
we haven't been to Liverpool. I'm quite excited. That's a great new city to be going to.
Yeah, it'll be nice in July. Looking forward to that. That'll be a good one. And then obviously we've got we before we know it, we'll be round to the Worlds again in August, and then a whole host of stuff in the autumn. So as I say, the reason I'm saying all of that, simple as that. Don't house off getting involved and playing some satellites, whether you decide to play the poker raffles, draws every week, whether you want to play the satellites on Grosvenor, whatever works for you guys. But try and bag up some of those tickets, because you can use them for whatever you need to. They don't expire. Use them for anything in 2025 that takes your fancy, and get involved. And we will follow all the action again this time next week.
Superb. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. As Leigh said, we'll be back same time next week. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see you tomorrow night on Poker Raffles, 9 p.m. Don't miss it if you're involved. And a big one, Leigh, £1 million guaranteed. UKPC main event at DTD.
I'll tell you what, Des, it's. For anyone still listening to us, there's going to be value in it, because we've sold less than half the tickets, and it's now less than 24 hours to go. Not we're worried or anything, but somebody's going to get some absolute value tomorrow night. They're going to get to play in the million guaranteed at Dusk Till Dawn, £1,100 buy-in plus £400 cash. So, if you want to chuck in a few quid in for a few tickets, this might be a good one to get involved in. But we will see those of you there tomorrow night.
Fantastic. Hope to see you tomorrow night, guys. If not, have a great week, and we will see you next weekend. Cheers, everyone.